Hello, everybody. I'm just going to give a quick overview about some things to think about when you're using Google Images for your project. Personally, my first and biggest recommendation would be to use the images that you find in our paid databases. So whether that's Gale, ProQuest, or ABC Clio, if you use those images that are associated with your specific topic, you don't have to worry about things like whether or not it's from the actual tribe that you're researching. What Google image searching will do is initially some of the first results might be right on topic, but then they try to gather related images. And that means looking at images from other tribes or other topics that may or may not actually be the tribe you're looking for. And another thing that gets tricky with Google is figuring out where they're getting their images from. If you're in the database, you know exactly where they're from. The database has paid for those images. They have given you the citation information or source information if it's relevant. So if I do a quick Google image search for the Mohawk tribe or Mohawk Indians, initially, when I look at these images, I get what appear to be some great results. What's a little tricky is if I wanted to see where these are actually posted, you have sites like Pinterest, which is really not the actual source. I'd have to do some more digging. Tumblr, which may or may not lead me in a weird direction. And while some of these might actually depict the Mohawk people, eventually there's going to be some other things that come up that are not related at all. I can go up to tools and look at the usage rates. With images of people, or really any image, it's good to keep in mind whether or not you have the right to use it or not. As a student, you're sort of protected for class projects, but eventually you guys might be using images for other things besides a project, like making a t-shirt, making flyers for a business. And in those situations, you're no longer protected. You can't just grab anything and everything off of Google. So there are licenses called Creative Commons that are specific to ways that different image posters have given you permission to use the images for free, or if you give credit, they let you know whether or not you're allowed to modify the image. But you'll notice as soon as I change the usage rates, suddenly it's a completely different set of images and I'm not seeing as much as I used to. But depending on what I'm actually using the images for, it's good to know whether or not I have the right to reproduce them or not. I'm going to go back to look at everything. And if I wanted to go to this History Junkie site, right, it's not enough to just click on the image, but I need to go to the actual source. And for some projects, you might need to cite where you're getting your images from. And I have to kind of question, who is this person who's created this website? Who's Russell Yost? Do I trust his information and his research? Does he have permission to use these images? He hasn't given me the source. So it gets a little tricky. I can certainly give credit to this site if I want to use this image, and I could go to mybib.com, but it raises questions that I don't have to worry about if I'm just in the databases and I know where they're coming from and who has posted them, right? Because I could go in here and start making a citation. It's telling me to be cautious with this site because it doesn't have all the information that I might need for a complete citation, like who is the author. And that's something where I'll have to go back and take a look at that. But those are just some reminders that there's a lot of good reasons to use the resources we pay for instead of just trying to Google and find everything through Google, because eventually you might come across some images that aren't even accurate, and you want to be as respectful and historically accurate as possible. Let me know if you come across something where you want me to help dig into a little bit. I would love to hear from you, and good luck with your project.